Good morning all, and welcome to just another Magic Monday. Your cosmic overview for the week ahead, how to synchronize your life with the astrological weather so that you can bring an umbrella, hypothetically speaking, when the astrological climate is a little tense or a little challenging, but also to know when to go out and enjoy the sunshine when we have some great astrology going on. My name is Comet. I'm here every single Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. EDT, 2:30 a.m. PDT. I would feel so honored if you would hit the subscribe button to join us every Monday. And without further ado, let's dive in. We start with the vibe check of the week. So this is a thematic take on what it feels like, so that even if you're not necessarily all well versed with the mechanics of this is what aspect is, this is what this planet sort of feels like, you can sort of get an understanding or be able to latch onto an emotion of what the cosmos feel like. And I'm hoping this one isn't that relatable. Honestly, that is what I'm hoping, because I would hope that not a lot of people went through this phase, but I feel like we might have, okay? So this week's astrology feels like a on again, off again relationship. Whew, and one of those really passionate ones where there are inebriated arguments, there are feelings of intense love and adoration, and then just intense fights, and it's just like up and it's down, and things are so good to nearly this euphoric level, and then they just go crashing down. It's like, I hate you, I can't stand you. It's definitely this love-hate vibe within the cosmos, and I'll tell you why. So firstly, we have the two love planets, Venus, which is about love, relationships, and Mars, which is about attraction. They're in mutual reception. So what that means is that Venus is in a sign that Mars rules, traditional placement speaking, and Mars is in a sign that Venus rules. So Mars will be dipping into Libra on Tuesday of this week, and so they're answering to one another. So normally when planets are in mutual reception, they're helping one another out, and that is the case here as well. But what's also important to note is that this is not where these planets thrive. Like, I want you to think of the sort of energy where it's like, ugh, I hate it here. Like, I want you to think of Venus. You know, Venus went into Scorpio last week, entering into the Scorpio domain of the sky, and just be like, oh, I hate it here. Now Mars enters Libra, and Mars is like, ugh, I can't stand it here. And I'll tell you why. So I spoke about Venus in Scorpio last week, so if you want more information, you could dive in there. But essentially, Venus is light, it's pleasurable, it's fun, and Scorpio is like intense, I want your soul. And then Mars is about going after what we want, being forward, being direct, and it's in Libra, which gets its way through charm and charisma and working with others. So neither are comfy. They are working together, so there is this influx of romantic attention, but it feels like things have the tendency to get a little toxic. So in addition to that, we also have some harsh, tense energy within the cosmos. We've got a fixed T-square, and there's just this feeling of like ups and downs and ups and downs and high highs where it's like, we're in a good place. We're just gonna forget about that fight we had yesterday. I hope you cannot resonate with that, but that's what it feels like. This week feels like the roller coaster arc of a sort of toxic relationship. So how can we ourselves prepare? Let's break it down day by day. Please know that all times that I mention will be PDT. Timestamps are available below if you want to jump to a certain day or come back to a different day. So on Monday, the 13th, there is some helpful energy in the morning as the Sagittarius moon does sextile Mercury in Libra, making it a great time to visualize brand new starts or visualize big ideas. The moon is in Sagittarius all day, bickering with the sun in Virgo, because sun in Virgo wants order, moon in Sagittarius wants expansion and novelty, and also bickering with Neptune in Pisces, which wants to escape. So our tasks, our errands, our routines, that's the sun in Virgo is like, hey, look at me. But then the moon in Sagittarius is like, I'd rather do anything other than that. And Neptune in Pisces is like, yeah, get me on a different planet. I'm not interested. So Monday, I wouldn't imagine being too terribly productive. You could find that you're daydreaming a lot. This is definitely a time that I would plan in, if you are working like a 9 to 5, a fun walk around during your lunch break, or trying a new lunch place, or grabbing a latte, or something that you can just bring in what Sagittarius moon wants, which is adventure, spontaneity into your everyday. And And then all's well that ends well. The Sagittarius moon will sextile its ruler, Jupiter, which is now in Aquarius. So they're working together. So Monday night is a great time to try a new restaurant. Somehow infuse some novelty into your world on Monday, because you could just be feeling really boxed in, or just like if everything feels mundane, be like, ugh, I just don't want to live in this reality if it's the same way every day. And you don't have to. Even walking a different way, trying something new to eat is a way to infuse your life and your errands with a little bit of novelty and newness. Now, the inebriated fight portion of the vibe check around this sort of toxic relationship is this aspect that I'm about to talk about. And it happens Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning, but know that we will be feeling this on Monday. So you know how I was talking about Monday, how there's this call to want to escape, to avoid, to procrastinate, to run away from our problems, to be in dreamland, to do something different. The sun squares Neptune. So Monday and Tuesday, being mindful around beverages, if you catch my drift, just because when we have harsh Neptune aspects, it's like the energy around, come away with me. So sun squaring Neptune, it feels like a euphoric high, but it's not real. So there might be this feeling of like, whether, you know, just to give an example to it, it's like the energy around getting back together with someone and just wearing rose-colored glasses, like, it'll be different this time. We won't scream, yelling at each other all through the night, and this won't happen, and this won't happen. It's like wanting to believe in this dream, and then shortly after being like disillusioned and disappointed. And I mentioned beverages just because Neptune is escapism. So with sun square Neptune, we want to avoid and escape from our problems or the reality of a situation, and that's just one vehicle to do it. So in terms of contracts, things of the nature, I would avoid the Neptunian, because in terms of contracts, getting back together with an ex, I would avoid it in the earlier part of the week with the square to Neptune. What we're seeing at this moment isn't necessarily to be believed. We're sort of wanting to see the best out of the situation, or wanting to not even address the reality of the situation, rather keep ourselves in a Neptunian haze. So that exacts Tuesday morning, but you will be feeling it on Monday as well. The moon is void at 3:37, and then it will enter Capricorn at 4:34 a.m. The moon will enter Capricorn, which the moon doesn't like it here either. So we've got unhappy moon, because moon is in its detriment in Capricorn. We've got an unhappy Venus, because Venus is in her detriment in Scorpio. And we've got an unhappy Mars, because Mars is in its detriment in Libra. Does this mean these planets are cursed? No, it does not mean these planets are cursed. It just means they're not operating as strong as they necessarily want to. Like, moon is emotions. Capricorn is outward prestige and ambitions. It's not an energy that naturally flows together. Libra is about peace. Mars is about war. Scorpio is about knowing someone's soul from the inside out. Venus is about being able to enjoy a nice meal with someone. The energies are just incompatible. So in the middle of this week, there's definitely this start-stop, or like wanting something and it not feeling right, or wanting to believe the dream in something, or just feeling energetically off. If you feel off this week, just blame the cosmos, okay? But with the moon in Capricorn, a lot of pressure that we're placing on ourselves. So you can expect a boost in ambition, and definitely grab onto the moments when you feel like you're being productive and bulldozing towards tasks. Middle of the day, Capricorn moon will sextile Venus and Scorpio. Again, they're unhappy. Schedule a lunch date. Like, this is sort of energy where it's like misery loves company. So it's like, if you want to grab a meal in order to, you know, vent with a friend, like this is the sort of energy where it's like, and this is wrong, but just like feeling seen in that moment. So lunch break would be a great time to just vent to a friend, or grab lunch with a coworker and just be like, oh, this customer came in and they were so annoying. Vent, but in a safe space, right? And both Capricorn and Scorpio are very dry, very funny energies. So you could find, you know, you're feeling a little bit more pessimistic, but you might be able to crack some good jokes out of the situation. And on Tuesday, which is appropriate because Tuesday is Mars Day, every day of the week is ruled by a different planet. I have a whole video on that, but Mars enters Libra. Again, Mars is how we got to where we want, with Mars and Virgo feeling more heightened to want to handle our errands and handle our routines. With Mars and Libra, we're a little bit more concerned with others. There might be this energy around doubting our own guidance and just wanting to default to other people. Well, what do you want to do? What do you think would be the best thing? Or feeling like we're more powerful in a partnership, even if it's not the right person. Going back to the vibe check of the on again, off again. With Mars and Libra, we just might feel a little bit less sure of ourselves, and a little bit more like, well, what do you think? Wednesday, the Capricorn moon is pretty unhappy. It's in a showdown with Chiron, which is in Aries, and Mercury, which is in Libra, and the three are bickering. And what that means for us personally is that we're putting this intense amount of pressure on ourselves with the Capricorn moon, and the moon will conjoin Pluto before its transit is over. And with the square to Chiron, we're feeling like it's our fault if our life doesn't look exactly as we wanted it to. And we're taking it really personally. And there's even this, we could lash out at a coworker, at a friend, at our partner. There's definitely a harshness to our language with the Capricorn moon squaring Mercury and Libra. It's just like being frustrated. It's like you're not frustrated at the person, you're just frustrated at your own situation. And you're frustrated that things, didn't pan out exactly how you wanted them to. You're bummed, you didn't get that record deal you wanted when you were 16, or that this is taking so much time. Like with Capricorn moon, we really just have a attachment to wanting to be the best or do the best. And with this square to Chiron, we're feeling like we are fundamentally flawed because we're not achieving our own levels of what we think we should succeed. And then with a square to Mercury and Libra, we're lashing out at those around us because of it. Definitely a day to sort of just work in private on your own, because with the trine to Uranus and Taurus and also the sun in Virgo, so they're creating a little grand earth trine. So even though there's a bickering between the cardinal signs, there's a trine between the earth signs. So there is an ability to solve this problem. And I don't want you to have a pity party, although sometimes you have to have a good pity party. We do have Venus and Scorpio, so definitely feel your emotions intensely. But on Wednesday, if you're in a situation where you just feel like in a stalemate and you're just like, I'm so frustrated, and you're working with people and everyone has a different opinion on how it should be solved or how it should work, there is a solution. It might need to be a new solution because Uranus is involved in this grand trine, but there is a solution. And rather than just being like, well, we can't get along and it's ruined, or I'm not good enough to solve this issue, so it's like ruined, be like, okay, how is it that we can logically move forward? Can we try something different rather than trying the same thing over and over again? Back to the vibe check. It's like this sort of energy around, can we productively solve this issue, or are we just going to have the same fight over and over and over again, just at a different location every single week, a different dive bar every single week? Like, are we going to do the same thing, or are we going to try a new approach to solve this issue? And the moon will be void at 10:40 with a closing aspect of a conjunction to Pluto and Capricorn, again, putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. The moon enters Aquarius at 8:23 a.m. and it'll trine Mars and Libra. Grab Thursday by the horns, guys, because the sun in Virgo will also trine with Pluto in Capricorn. So this is a productive energy that we need. I feel like Wednesday we were too scattered, or like disagreeing with people where we weren't able to really move forward. Like maybe we talked about a solution or thought of a new idea, but Thursday is the time to actually get it done and like handle a bulk of your work tasks, because we're out of sort of the Neptunian confusion of the earlier part of the week, the Wednesday sort of clash of differing opinions, and we haven't yet gotten to the fixed T-square with the moon in Aquarius trining Mars and Libra. We're a little bit more willing to work as a group. Like Wednesday definitely felt like a battle in terms of group dynamics or working with other people or taking out your frustrations on other people. Thursday is the time that we could peacefully work with others. That's the great thing about Mars and Libra, is that we are wanting to have peace. The problem is that Mars is our own unique will, how we get what we want. With Mars and Libra, there's like a tendency to want to hold on to it, to be like, I don't know, okay, whatever you think. But on Thursday, there is a need for peace. So in my vibe check, Wednesday is sort of like the fight, and Thursday is like the resolution. Like, okay, are we gonna get back together? Are we gonna do this again? And the sun will also trine off with Pluto and Capricorn, so remembering our power, that we have the ability to try a new solution for the same issue. If it keeps rearing its ugly head, right? We have the ability to pivot at any moment in time. Venus in Scorpio clashes with Saturn in Aquarius. They're squaring. Who's stronger here? Venus or Saturn? So Venus in Scorpio or Saturn in Aquarius? Saturn in Aquarius, because Saturn rules Aquarius and Venus is unhappy in Scorpio. So you have to look at when these two planets are duking it out in a square, they're squaring up, right? You have to look at which planet is fundamentally more comfortable in his zone. So Saturn likes being in Aquarius, Saturn rules Aquarius, Venus hates it in Scorpio. So Saturn is kind of overpowering Venus, and Venus wants love, it wants to feel valued, right? Like I said, with Venus and Scorpio, the Scorpio brand of love is too intense and passionate than what Venus wants. Venus wants everything to feel good and to feel lovely and to experience pleasure. And with this square to Saturn, there can be a tendency to feel short on love, short on beauty, to be overly harsh on ourselves. With Venus and Scorpio, there could be this energy around being paranoid around other people's intentions. Like I said, roller coaster, making up in the morning, that was the peaceful energy, and then a clash at night. The sort of energy where it's like being so paranoid that you almost want to sabotage it. So you're almost like already annoyed, but you guys are trying to get along, and then you're like, well, I saw you talking to Jerry at the bar when we were on a break, just like digging up the, the unearthed stuff. Like that's the shadow side of Venus and Scorpio, is digging out the stuff that you know is going to hurt, especially with the square to Saturn and Aquarius. And why Scorpio will do this is because Scorpio does have a vulnerable side. It's protected by a shell, but they have a stinger, right? So they'll go after you because they don't want themselves to feel vulnerable. So with Venus and Scorpio squaring Saturn and Aquarius, some behaviors to watch is people throwing things from the past in your face just to rehash it. Like I said last week, we're in Mercury pre-retrograde shadow right now. So conversations, especially in relationships, because Mercury will be retrograde in Libra. So there is a clash there. But with that, a lot of events that are happening right now, particularly around relationships, are going to be rehashed. And furthermore, they're going to be a fundamental part of our Mercury retrograde story. With Venus and Scorpio squaring Saturn and Aquarius, sometimes these people bring things up from the past just to put it out there and be toxic, or feeling so short on love, being like, oh, they don't love me, or I don't feel beautiful, that you sort of like lash out or want to be on the aggressive towards other people, or just feeling lonely, just feeling not enough, just feeling not good enough. And again, there can be a tendency to want to lash out because of that, or it could just be like an internal spiral of dread of just feeling like you're not enough, you're not enough. So great time to pencil in some self-love, some taking care of yourself. There's just a feeling of feeling short on love, short on money, short on beauty, short on everything. Friday the 17th. So Venus square Saturn did exact last night, but we may feel this energy on Friday as well. The moon will be in Aquarius all day. Aquarius moon does bicker with Uranus and Taurus. This is when that fixed T-square is exacting in the sky. Right? So the moon and Saturn are in Aquarius, fixed sign. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed sign. Venus is in Scorpio, fixed sign. And when I say T-square, the planets are beefing, right? But when I say fixed T-square, that's a little bit extra beef, because fixed signs are very, very stubborn. And so on Friday, there might be this feeling that no one is seeing it your way. There might be a clash, like, why don't you do it my way? Or why does my boss never see it this particular way? Or, oh my gosh, why do they keep trying to hire the same type of person? Why don't we try something different? People are just not seeing eye to eye. They're clashing, they're stubborn, and they're not hearing your point of view. It's like the energy in on again and off again relationship. It's the same fight over and over, and no one's budging. They were talking to Jerry at the bar when you guys were on a break. You were toxic on that particular break. Like, maybe you guys are valid in your points, but no one's acquiescing. No one's budging, even a little bit, in accepting the other person's point of view. So Friday is not the time that I would necessarily want to persuade someone. We are moving into a very dreamy, lovely weekend, so all's well that ends well, I guess, but Friday isn't the time that I would necessarily expect anyone to fundamentally change their minds. And the evening's nice though, so the Aquarius moon does trine Mercury in Libra, so this feels like going to the restaurant, going to happy hour, something with someone that you care about, and just venting about the week. Saturday the 18th, the moon will be void at 2:18 a.m. Closing aspect is a conjunction to Jupiter in Aquarius. And then the moon will be void until 1:22. So if you have to work on Saturday morning or do anything important, I would save it for after. So any sort of important meetings or any tasks, wait till 1:22. Although I wouldn't expect to be feeling terribly productive as the moon then dips into ethereal, dreamy Pisces. So this sort of energy, so if like you wait, you have to sign some papers. You're like, oh, I'll do it when the moon's not void at 1:22. And then Pisces moon is sort of energy where you walk to go get a snack from the market, and then all of a sudden you're at the park and you're looking at the clouds and you're cloud gazing. You're like, oh my gosh, that one looks like an elephant, and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to go see an elephant. And then you decide you go to the zoo, and then you're going to the zoo eating a snow cone, and then you're like, oh, wasn't I supposed to go sign papers? So Saturday in general, I wouldn't imagine being too terribly productive, but get lost in something. That's what the Pisces moon really wants, is to get lost, whether it's in your own imagination, in scenery, in nature. Enjoy life. And we're building to the full moon, which will be next Monday. So you might feel this full moon energy begin to build, particularly with all these conflicts this week, this intensity brewing, our Mercury retrograde story kicking up, as Mercury will head retrograde coming up very, very soon. Things are reaching a peak, whether it's in relationships, you know, with intense fights, or with friendships, like breakups or clashes or conflicts in general. Things are reaching a head as we get closer to this full moon. On Sunday the 19th, so Pisces moon trining Venus and Scorpio. What these signs have in common is that they're very passionate, they're very loving. This is a great date day, or like grabbing, you know, morning breakfast with your partner, or just listening to music and getting carried away in art or making art. This is soulful. So if you feel the feels, you're meant to transmute them into something else. And keep in mind, a lot of feels are coming up, right? We're building to the Pisces full moon where that is rising to the surface. So feel it and transmute it. That's what Scorpio really wants. And that's why Scorpio feels such a depth of emotion, is because the energy of Scorpio is about transmutation, is about transformation. What we can do to take those negative, unfortunate parts of life and turn them into something magical. Like you had this unfortunate experience, but you were able to write a comedy bit about it, that you made it into something good. You spun that story into gold. Your little Rumpelstiltskin, honestly. And the Pisces moon will also sextile Uranus and Taurus. So great time for creativity, but truly just to enjoy life, get lost in something. If you feel intense feelings, let yourself feel them. We're building to a full moon. That's the purpose of full moons, is to build up, to illuminate things that have been undercover. Like, yes, this week just had this roller coaster feeling of this like on again, off again, whether it's a relationship or friendship or however you can identify it, where it's like euphoric highs and then just like low lows and just like up and down. With this particular week, I'm not saying go back to your ex who had that particular, you know, relationship around it, but I want you to just have grace in that roller coasters of emotions. Just trust that it's all happening for you and not to you. I don't think of the cosmos as mean. I just think a lot of things that are coming to the surface are meant to be brought up for this Pisces moon, for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of releasing, not for the purpose of getting back with your ex. That is not what I'm saying. So friends, what did you think? Comment below what you're looking forward to in this particular week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is I am grateful in the highs and I am graceful in the lows. Ups and downs of emotions are to be expected, and in this cosmic weather, particularly, there's happy happies and then low lows, but I want you to just strive to find that even keel, level-headed approach of just being grateful if things feel great and they feel very euphoric, and then to just be graceful when those inevitable lows happen, because such is life and such is the cosmos this week, and I'm sending you all good vibes as you anchor through it. I just want to announce that if you've been looking for a reading sooner than November, Snag It September is still ongoing, so you can grab a flash reading below. If it's only showing you dates for November, that means someone has already snagged this week. You can try again next week. My Instagram handle is @Astrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love for you to come join me over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay